The life I've lived has been very simple. I was born in Jackson, Mississippi, uh, the elder son of James Grant Thompson and my mother Elizabeth Thompson, and I have one brother. He's named James Grant III. The growing up period was comfortable there in Jackson. Although we thought it was a big city, it was small, and everything was very convenient. And I went on to school in a military academy at Columbia, Tennessee in the early 50s, and then to Ole Miss in the late 50s. And I transferred from Ole Miss to Millsaps and finally completed my college education at Millsaps and graduated in 1959. Then in the next few years, I met my wife, Lucy Mobley, and we ultimately married in 1961. We had two children born to us, our daughter, Melissa, and our son, Doug, or Douglas. And at some point in time, we all grew up in the Air Force together when I was on active duty for 10 years. Then, during that period of time, I also served my year in Vietnam. And you indicated while we were off that you wanted to know more about my college career at Ole Miss. It just happens that Mary Ann Mobley, who became Miss America in 1950. As I was saying, Lucy and I both were at Ole Miss in the year 1955. Lucy was in nursing school, and I was just a regular student. But the funny thing is the girl that I ran into a lot in my classes was Mary Ann Mobley, who became a Miss America in 1958.
And they changed the name to Mobley.
Yeah, and they changed her name to Mobley as a national thing.
Right.
She couldn't get anybody to say Mobley.
Well, good. Listen, we got to get back to your children now.
All right.
Tell us about your kids. You got.
But I did go and marry Lucy Mobley
yeah.
in 1961, and we had two children. We had Melissa, and we had Douglas.
All right.
And then they each have two children. Melissa has two children, Sam and Ann Russell, and Doug has two children, Jack and Kate. And Doug married a girl from Nashville, and Melissa married a boy from central mid-Tennessee, Mark Webb. Mark serves and has served for nearly 20 years as the athletic director of Swanee, University, the University of the South.
And your life career was being a lawyer.
Yes. And I served all my lifetime as an attorney from 1964 when I graduated from Ole Miss Law School. I did 10 years as an attorney in the Air Force as a judge advocate, and that was good till I departed from active duty in 10 years from 66 and 76, and then continued for another 13 years as a reservist. So I ultimately retired from the Air Force in 1990.
Good.
And since before that time, we have been living in Ocean Springs, Mississippi, raising the two children, and I've been practicing law as a little city-type lawyer, doing general practice, and we've had a very happy and comfortable life here in Ocean Springs.
And now you have an avocation, right? You have an avocation now.
Yes.
And what do you do now?
More recently, through the church, I studied to become a lay pastor, and I have been for the last 4 years serving the church in Lucedale, Mississippi, as its pastor. That's Lucedale First Presbyterian Church, and we have had a good relationship through the people in that church and in that town. And I'm very, very happy to have been able to do these things over the years, and appreciate all the help and support that I've been given. You have to acknowledge that you don't do anything on your own.
Absolutely true. And listen, if it wasn't for Bill Wells, you and I wouldn't know each other, would we? Huh?
Dick is making this tape, and he reminds me that if it wasn't for Bill Wells, that he and I would probably have never met each other. But Bill has been a very good friend for both of us over the years.
Known him since the 4th grade. I mean, 4-year-olds.
Yeah, I've known him. I've known Bill since I was 4, and we have kept in touch all these years through schools and college as well, where we both belong to the same fraternity, Delta Psi.
Well, Russell, I appreciate your time, and especially lunch today. That was a good deal.
Well, Dick, it's very good to see you and Nancy both, and I'm so glad y'all called on your way through town to have lunch,
Well,
and join and have this opportunity to be with each other.
well, thank you, buddy.